and I just wanted to welcome anybody back that has been here to watch the show before. And for those of you that are new, greetings. And a little bit first about myself. I'm Kat, and I'm coming into you from the Enlightened Path Holistic Center, which is located in Pottstown. For those of you that haven't already been out to the center to see what we've got going, we're up on North Charlotte Street. It's 1494 North Charlotte Street, up by the Sunflower Cafe, if you're familiar with that. A little bit past Planet Fitness if you're going up the hill. And we have quite a variety of things to offer at the center. It's not just services, which are different healing sessions, massage, reflexology, Reiki, but also a lot of different readings, psychic medium, tarot, crystal, palm. So we have a lot of different things in that realm. And we also have a lot of gifts, supplies, oils, candles, crystals. As you can see, this is a little bit of what we have as far as the crystals go. And each week we're doing a different topic on the Enlightened Path Talk with Kat, and today we are going to be talking about crystals, so that's why I have all these beautiful pieces spread out here, and I will talk a little bit about those. Usually at the beginning of the show, I spend a few minutes telling you about the different events and stuff that we have going on at the center, but I'm going to skip over that today because I do have a lot to talk about. But I do want to give you some direction if you would like to see what we have going on. We do have an events page on our Facebook. Just look up Enlightened Path. If you're not already watching it, go to the events page and you can see all the great things we have. There's different people there almost every day. We have a lot of classes and workshops in the evening. Some are regular, some are special events. So take a look on there and see what we've got going on. You can also check out our website. It's enlightenedpath-hc.com. There's also a page on there that will take you to the same events page on Facebook. And it's so much easier just to see it all on one page rather than having it set up in different places. So take a look, see what we've got going on. And if there's any classes, events, anything that you have any interest in or any questions on, feel free to give me a call. It's 484-624-8095, or stop into the center or message me on Facebook. So again, a lot of great items there. A lot of handmade gifts as well. There's a lot of handmade jewelry made by local artists. We have some artwork from local artists, a lot of knickknacks, a lot of books. So if you're looking for any books on crystals or honing in on your gifts that you might have with healing or with any kind of psychic medium work, there's a lot of different books there. There's a lot of spiritual, metaphysical. We run the gamut with the books, and a lot of different tools that you can use with those gifts as well. And we also have some musical instruments which can be used in healing with the vibration or just for fun for making music. Feel free to stop in sometime just to chit-chat. Do have a nice little area to sit and relax. There's always nice music playing, and it always smells great. It's a very quiet, peaceful, safe atmosphere. And like I said, we have a nice sitting area. You're welcome just to come in, sit and read if that's what you'd like to do, just to get away from the outside world. Or if you want to come in and talk, if you have questions, something you've got an interest in learning more about, you know, we can sit and talk, and maybe there's a class coming up and I can help you with that. So again, check the Facebook page. There's also a lot of pictures of the center, things that we've been doing. You can get to see what the place looks like, but get a better feel for it by stopping in and seeing what we've got. So again, any phone calls, any phone call questions, it's 484-624-8095, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. Or again, message me on Facebook and I'd be happy to answer too. So today I would like to talk a little bit about crystals, working with crystals for both healing, for energetic protection, for pushing away negativity. There's so many different things that we can use crystals for, and I'd like to go over some of the basic crystals and a couple beautiful pieces that I have here. They are my, the bigger pieces here, those are my personal pieces. They've got some great energy, and I'd like to talk a little bit about those and the different properties of them. But we're going to start with the basic ones first, and also a little bit about gridding, which we'll talk about, using points and using different crystals for different ways to pull in and also to push out different energies. So let's start first with some of the basic protection crystals. There are many crystals that you can use for energetic protection, for pushing away negativity, whether it's your home, your personal space, your workspace. I have them all over for protection. It's a great way to clear your space of negativity. Some of them push it away, some of them absorb it. But these are the basic crystals that you can use for protection, is this little pile here. So clear quartz, which you'll see a lot of on this table, because clear quartz is a go-to for a lot of different things. It's a wonderful little crystal that has many properties, many uses, and a lot of energy. So the clear quartz is great for a lot of different things. And I'll go into a lot of the different properties of some of these. But for right now, I just want to go over a little bit with the negativity ones as far as what they do for that. So this one is good for placing in your windows, keeping it in your pocket. They will absorb the negative energy and stop it from coming through. You can put it above your door, anywhere being in your space where things come in. Just think of it that way, where things come in, your doorway, your windows, anywhere where energy from outside, whether it be following another person or just wafting around and trying to make its way in, that's where you would want to put them. And even, it doesn't mean you have to have them all over, just one in one window. You know, if you've got a couple windows downstairs, put one in each window. But you only need one in each window. And I would probably use a different crystal over the door, but I'll give you an idea with some of those. But this is a great one for that. And putting it in a window is a good place, because getting the sun from the window will recharge it, and it's a self-clearing crystal, so you never have to worry about clearing the energy out of it. It clears it itself, but it does need the sun to recharge. It also uses moonlight. It's one of the crystals that's okay to use sun or moon. And that's another thing I'll get into with these two, is charging them and clearing them, because there are some that you don't want in the sun because it will bleach the color out of them. There are some that you don't want to put in water. So I'll tell you some different ways to do that. But the clear quartz, that one's great for sun or moon. So great crystals to have on hand, multiple if you can. Have a bag full of them, because there's so much you can do with them. But good one to have. Another one that's really good for personal space is hematite. It's probably a little hard to see on the camera, but the hematite is like a gunmetal. It's a shiny gray, silver, metal-looking crystal. It's not metal, but that's what it looks like. And it can actually even become magnetized. So it does have some iron in it. It's not like a solid metal, but it does have some in it, so that does give it some metal property. But this is good for carrying in your pocket. It's more for your personal space. For the ladies, you can drop them in your bra, carry them that way. Just remember they're there when you go to take them off, or you'll have crystals flying everywhere. I've done that. But carry them in your pockets, or maybe you'd like to get a pouch. There are pouches that you can get similar to this, but they may they're a little bit smaller, and they come on a string. You can wear them around your neck, just drop it down inside your shirt. We do carry some of those at the center too. Medicine bags. There's some little ones that are really cute. You can wear them as a necklace, or again, wear them down inside your shirt, or carry them in your pocket. So again, hematite will, this will block and absorb negative energy. One thing you do want to be careful with hematite, it's a wonderful stone, and I love to have these all over the place as well, but you want to be careful about it becoming magnetized, because if it does, you don't want to put it near your computers, your laptops, your phones, anything electronic. Once it becomes magnetized, it can affect those and cause a problem. Some hematites, when you buy them, they're already magnetized, so you want to double check that. And if you get it near a magnet, that's how they usually become magnetized. So they're not going to do it on their own, but if you get them near a magnet, they will become magnetized. Check them when you buy them, make sure they're not already, because some are purposely magnetized for other purposes before they're even sold. Another one is black tourmaline. This comes in different sizes. This is just a small piece. It's a nice, shiny, solid black little stone. And this one is wonderful for negativity. It's one of the stronger of the stones for absorbing negativity. These are great to put on the outside corners of your home. You can just bury them a few inches down on the outside four corners of your house, and that helps keep negativity from coming into your home. Also great for personal space, for carrying with you, and they're a great little stone to have. Very strong for absorbing negativity. One of my favorites for negativity, I didn't have a loose one, but I did have a piece of jewelry with it in it, and that's kyanite. Kyanite comes in a few different colors. The most common is the blue, which is what I have here. It's a blue kyanite, but it also comes in green and black. Kyanite really absorbs and blocks negativity tenfold. I mean, it's even just a small little piece like this is great to have over your doors. That's why I was going to say earlier when I was talking about the clear quartz. That's great for your windows. Kyanite is great to put above your doors. At my business, at home I would put a shard. They usually come in the little oblong shards. They're not very often polished, but I would put one above a door, any door going outside. You don't need to worry about the interior doors of your home, but a door to the outside where people are coming in and going out. You can either tuck it on the little ledge above the door, or if you have like the old wood trim where there's a little space in there, you can shove it inside there. I didn't have that at my shop, so I definitely needed to have something there. And I didn't have a piece on hand, but I did have a pair of kyanite earrings when I first opened there. So what I did is I hung this above the door and also one above the back door. So one pair worked out perfect. I only had two doors and one went above each one. So these again are also self-clearing, and they will absorb a lot of negativity. And being as they're self-clearing, I don't need to worry about having to do any work with them. I just hang them up there and leave them go, and they take care of themselves. So I think they've done a great job. They've really been doing a lot of work for me. I think they do keep a lot of the negativity out, and they're great again for your home. You can carry them in your pocket, but I like to use those more for space, where some are better for your personal use and some are better for space. I like those for that. Another one that is a very gentle balancing is the snowflake obsidian. Now, snowflake obsidian, it's black, a little hard to see again with the camera, but it's black with little white dots here and there. So they call that snowflake obsidian. It's a very, very gentle crystal. It absorbs negativity, but it also helps to give you strength. It kind of balances things a little bit. And again, I will get into a little more of the properties, but as I go through here. But these are the ones that are the best, I find, for negativity. So again, we have the kyanite, the hematite, the snowflake obsidian, the black tourmaline, and the go-to for most things, the clear quartz. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the grounding. A lot of times we find ourselves a little off kilter, we're not feeling very grounded, and it is important to stay that way. Meditation is great for getting yourself grounded. I use that the most, but some of us go through a daily routine of being knocked off balance. Maybe it's the work that we do, maybe it's just life in general that we're dealing with, and we have a lot of things that knock us off balance and keep us feeling ungrounded. So in that case, I would suggest carrying crystals with you to help keep that balance and help keep you grounded. One of my favorites for grounding, again, is the hematite. So this is another one of the crystals that's good for a few different things, but it is good for grounding. Carry it in your pocket, hold it while you're meditating. Just pick it up and hold it. It feels really good. It's a very nice feeling crystal. It's very smooth. It's got a nice weight to it, but just holding it in your hand. But carry it in your pocket. That's the best place to have it. Keeping it close to your root chakra. That's right at the base of your spine, and that's the chakra that keeps you grounded. So keeping it in your pocket keeps it close to that area. So that's a really good one. Red jasper is another really good one for grounding. This, of course, it's a little hard again to see it on the camera, but comes in different sizes and various shades of reds and oranges. But the red jasper is very good for grounding. Again, keep it in your pocket, keep it close to the root chakra area, and also carnelian. Carnelian is another very warm grounding stone. This works more with your sacral chakra, which is just above the root chakra. Again, keeping that in your pocket, it keeps it close to that area. Also helps with getting you grounded. That kind of sends the energy through the two chakras and helps put that energy down through your legs and down into the ground. So that's something else you can picture while you're holding them. Picture the energy going down through your chakras and straight down through your legs and into the ground, just like a root would go through. The energy is doing the same thing. So get your energy roots in the ground and let the crystals help you with that. So again, great ones for grounding: the hematite, the red jasper, and the carnelian. Now, let's talk a little bit about the love crystals. Whether you're trying to work on love for yourself, which is always a big one, or outgoing love for others, great go-to for anything that's dealing with love is your rose quartz. Rose quartz is a very, very gentle energy. I find it works best for loving yourself, treating yourself gently, not being so harsh on yourself, because we're always our worst critics. So rose quartz is great for bringing in the self-love. To amplify that, an amethyst. An amethyst will amplify a lot of the different energies, as well as the clear quartz. But I find it works the best with the rose quartz. The color alone it will vary depending on the type of amethyst. There are a couple different types out there. This is your generic, your typical amethyst. It's usually just the different shades of purple. There's also chevron amethyst, which is my favorite. That looks beautiful. It usually has a white V mixed in there somewhere. Makes them very pretty, and you still have the purple, but then you also have the white mixed in there with it. Both have the same energy. Again, it will amplify a lot of different crystals, but it does work best with the rose quartz. So that's good for bringing the love to yourself. But another one that's also good for that, which I have in my healing pile here, because it does have a lot of healing qualities, is a bloodstone. And a bloodstone is also great for outward love when you're trying to strengthen your love for other people, or you want to draw love in. Drawing love in, it's probably best to put the two together. The bloodstone is a dark green, and it usually has a little bit of red specked in it. Works great with the heart. So it's a heart chakra stone, and when you put that together with the rose quartz, and then really amplify it with the amethyst, you got a great combo there for loving yourself and bringing love into you and being able to strengthen your love for other people. So overall, this is a great combination. Sometimes, though, people are just working more on loving themselves before they can love others, so I suggest starting with the rose quartz. So again, great combination for love would be the rose quartz and the amethyst. Amp it up some with the bloodstone. This little guy sitting here by himself is a citrine. It is another form of amethyst. It's treated in a different way, and that gives it its gold color. A little hard to see on the camera, I'm sure, but it's usually, when you get the rough cut, you've got a clear end or a whitish end, and then you've got the gold end where the fire is. Citrine is kind of a double purpose. I like to use it the most for abundance. It really draws in the money, draws in the gold. You can put it in your cash register if you have a business. You can put it in your wallet. You can put it in the wealth corner of your home, which is your back left, or your business. It would be your back left corner. And the rose quartz, that you can put in your relationship or your love corner of your home or business as well. That would be your back right corner. So if you're going in your front door, the furthest corner to your right in the back part of the home or the business would be the love corner, relationship corner. And that does not have to necessarily mean romantic. That could also just be family love or friendship love. For business, that's just people love your business, so you want that too. You want a good relationship with your clients and your customers, so put the rose quartz back in the relationship and love corner. Citrine, back left corner. Bring in the abundance. You can either just drop them on the floor or put them in a little dish or put something over top of them or tape them right into the bottom corner. Nobody's really going to see it, but put them in there. I have them in my wallet, my register, and my back corner. But it's also works with your solar chakra, and that's your self-esteem, your inner fire. So just remember the fire and the gold. So that'll help you remember it's the abundance and the self-esteem and the fire. It's how you feel about yourself. It's bringing that fire out. So if you're having a problem with self-confidence and your self-esteem, get some citrine. And these aren't really, when you get the points, they're not really one that you want to carry around loose in your bra, but they do have polished ones. You could get one of those. I would suggest putting it in a pouch, but having it somewhere where it's close to this area, because that's where your solar is, right, just right above the, or right where the rib cage is right there. That's where that's going to be. So that's where you would want it as close to possible as that. Or hold it there or meditate with it. Just lay it on there for a little while you're meditating, and that'll help with that. So let's go on to the healing crystals. We have the different areas of the body. Depends on what type of healing you are looking to do, if you're doing physical healing or emotional healing. There's so many different crystals. I highly recommend getting any kind of book that's going to give you the additional information, having them on hand that you can just grab them quick and look through them. Even this book here, the Crystal Bible, is an amazing book. It has so much information in it, but there's actually 3 volumes of this book. This is my favorite. This is my go-to. I always have this one on hand. The shop has its own copy, so even if you just need to look something up, you're welcome to do that. But I do have some for sale. Hopefully we're going to get more in because I'm getting kind of low. We go through a lot of these. But each book has a variety of different crystals in them. But this is the basic one. This has all the general basic ones you would need to look up. And this author also has another book here. This is the illustrated guide to it, has some great pictures in it, still gives you all the different properties and stuff. But when it comes to working with healing, there's just way too many to possibly fill you in on even a fraction of them. So I just kind of have a few basic ones here, and we'll just run through a couple of the different body areas and some of the ones that you can use for that. I have some here, some I didn't have to bring on hand, but I'll let you know what they are. Let's start with the head, and we'll work our way down, and then we'll talk about some of the other ones. If you're working with the thought process, if you're working with the crown or any areas, maybe it's headaches or it's vision, anything that's up in the top area, best ones to work with there are going to be the amethyst again, which is the purple stone, or this one, which I put over here because this is also good for spiritual connection and intuition. This is selenite, beautiful stone. I suggest this as any basic set that you're trying to put together should have the selenite and the clear quartz. Selenite is a wonderful stone for connecting with spirit and using your intuition. Anytime you're working with the head or the crown chakra, this is one of the stones that you don't want to get wet. It will start to disintegrate after you get it wet, so there are different ways to take care of and clear selenite. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this is a great one. Comes in many different shapes, sizes. They have towers, they have pyramids, they have wands, they have smaller crystals. You don't usually see them as a tumbled crystal like these. Sometimes you see little squares, only because they are very hard to polish. This is one of the few shapes that you can usually get them in. Sometimes they come in heart-shaped. I do have a few hearts at the shop too. But it's a very beautiful white crystal. Very hard to see the different iridescent colors on the camera. But if you ever get a chance to take a close-up look, they're very pretty. So those are the best ones working with anything with the head, is the amethyst or the selenite. If you're working a little further and you're going down to the neck, anything with the throat or the lower jaw, you're looking at the blues. The blue lace agate, which I have a small piece of here. It's usually a very light blue color. There's another one that looks very similar to this. It's called Angel Light. It's also light blue, maybe a hair darker than the blue lace agate. Blue lace agate is a little more opaque, and the Angel Light is a little more solid. So they're both very pretty stones, great for working with the throat area if you want to soften something down. If maybe they have a sore throat and you're trying to calm it down, you would use the lighter blue of the stones. If there's something going on where you need to strengthen it, maybe they've lost their voice, or maybe they're not speaking up for themselves. It could be either physical or emotional. Then you're going to want to go more with the darker blue. Now, a couple of darker blue ones, which I did not bring with me, sodalite. It's a dark blue stone. That one works really great, has a little bit of white flecked in it. And my favorite for the strengthening of the throat is the lapis lazuli. That stone is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's a dark blue, and it'll usually have a little pyrite swirled through it or flaked in it, which can have either a gold tone or a silver tone, depending on where they're mined. But those are beautiful. They look like a starry sky when you look at them. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And those have a lot of strength to them. They're very strong stone. So those are good. Again, somebody who keeps losing their voice, or they need to strengthen their throat chakra and start speaking up for themselves. So just remember, anything that you want to strengthen with the throat, you would go with the darker blues. Anything that you want to soften or calm down with the throat, you would want to use the lighter blues. Working with the shoulder areas, if anybody is having problems with the shoulders or the upper arm area, Again, the selenite or the clear quartz. Those both work really good for the shoulders. Working with the chest or the heart area, again, the rose quartz, the bloodstone, or garnet. Garnet is real pretty red. Sometimes you get it in the jewelry, but you can also get it in crystal form. And it's usually a lot cheaper to get the gemmy crystals than to actually get the garnet jewelry. But those are great for working anything physically or emotionally in the heart area. Working with the stomach area, if they're having stomach issues. If it's the upper stomach, you would want to work with the citrine. Remember, that's closer to the solar chakra. Anything that's with the lower stomach, carnelian is a really good one, or fire agate is another really good one. This is the carnelian. I did not have a piece of fire agate to bring with me. That is a really pretty stone that's kind of a mix of orange and white and yellow. It definitely looks like it's got fire swirling through it, hence the name, but it's a really pretty stone. Working with the reproductive or the abdomen area, in a female, you would go with the red jasper. Any of the shades or shapes of the red jasper works good for that. And moonstone. Moonstone is another good one to use. Actually, I wear a piece of moonstone a lot of times. It's usually an opaque, beautiful white stone. So female, you're going to want to go red jasper or the moonstone. If it's male, then you're going to go back to the carnelian. Works great for the guys. So this has more masculine energy, where the moonstone would have more of the feminine energy. Working with the legs, the knees, or the feet, hematite, again, the gunmetal silver stone, or tiger iron, which is my absolute favorite. I always carry a piece of the tiger iron with me. This is a little pouch that I carry in my purse, so that's why I was giving you the ideas of how to carry them around with you. And I keep my tiger iron in here. And again, a little hard to see on the camera, but the tiger iron is a mix of the tiger's eye and hematite. So if you look at really closely at a piece of tiger iron and you swirl it around, you can see the different shades of the gold and the colors that you would normally get in the tiger's eye. Now, this is a normal, regular tiger's eye. That just has like the browns, the different shades of browns. But when you mix the hematite in there, it just adds a whole new shimmer to it. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you ever get a chance to get a hold of a piece of tiger iron, not easy to find, but if you can find them, grab it and hold on to it, because they're great to have. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here, and then when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the intuitive crystals, and then some of these big beauties that we have here and the properties that they have. And then we'll talk a little bit about the gridding as well. So sit tight, little commercial break, and we'll be back shortly, and we'll get back into the wonderful info on crystals. There, and we are back to talk more about the crystals that I have laid out here. So these larger crystals that I have here, absolutely beautiful pieces. So I was just talking to one of the girls here. She was asking me about some of them, and these larger ones pretty much have all been gifted to me at one point in my life. And the one that I've had around the longest is this one here. This beautiful piece, this is apophyllite, and this was gifted to me by a very dear friend, probably, oh good Lord, it might have been about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that. It's been quite a while that I've had this piece, and one of my favorite pieces to this day. So thank you to my dear friend for the gift that she gifted me with this. Apophyllite is for a number of different things, and one of the main things is it helps to increase intuition, helps you to connect with your guides, and to work with remote viewing, astral projection, things like that. Really works with the third eye and the crown chakra. So it helps to open them up and make them more receptive to the outside energies, to the spiritual energies that are trying to connect with you. So again, that helps with visions and your intuition. So being a psychic medium, that really is an important crystal to me. And when that stone was gifted to me, I was not at the point in my life where I was working with my psychic medium gifts. I had kind of pushed that aside. I'm not sure if she kind of knew that I needed to bring that out and knew that I would need that at one time, or if she was just gifting it to me for other reasons, because it also works with memory. It helps with reducing stress, anxiety. It absorbs fear and worry. And at the point in my life that was gifted to me, that was more of a lot of what I was going through. And I think she kind of gifted it to me for that. and it did serve its purpose then for that, but now I use it more on the intuitive side, more of the psychic medium, connecting with guides and allowing my intuition to be at its fullest. So I usually keep that in the room where I'm doing my readings. It's not only pretty to look at, but it is a beautiful piece of apophyllite. A lot of times you see them in smaller pieces, so that's quite a good sized chunk of apophyllite. So I do love that stone, and I do use it a lot. So again, thank you to my dear friend for that. It also does send out peace and love. The white color, I think, is the peace part. It just reminds me of the spiritual connection a lot like the selenite. It has that beautiful white color, but it also has the properties, if you look, of the clear quartz, because there are some points where it's solid white, and then there are some points where it is clear. So it kind of combines the two of the spiritual connection and the clarity. So that to me is a great stone for anybody working with their intuitive gifts. So if that's what you're trying to develop, look into getting yourself some apophyllite. It's a beautiful stone. Next in line that I've had time-wise is this beautiful geode piece. This is an amethyst, and somehow in the center of the amethyst got stuck a piece of citrine. Again, it is just another form of amethyst, but because of the way it was nature processed it, it just changed the color a little bit. But this geode was gifted to me by my mother probably about 3 or 4 years ago. So I've had this one for quite a while. And again, I keep that in the same space as I keep my apophyllite, because that also helps to amplify the intuition working with the crown and the third eye. Also helps to amplify any healing work, which I do a lot of with the Reiki when we're doing our Reiki sessions. This sends out some wonderful healing energy for that. So that's a beautiful piece of amethyst. This piece over here, this is a combination piece, a very interesting piece. This was gifted to me a couple years, well, maybe about 1.5 years ago. This is the baby of the group of my larger stones. And this is a combination of chalcopyrite, sphalerite, and calcite. This has got such a shimmer and shine to it. I'm sure the camera does not do any justice to this beautiful piece. This side here, if the camera catches it at all, you would be able to see the pyrite that's in there. It's that's part of the chalcopyrite, which can come in multiple colors, also known as peacock ore. If you get a piece that's just the chalcopyrite, it usually has purples and blues. This particular piece has more of the gold tone to it, so this just shimmers bright gold. It's beautiful. This little piece that just fell off, that is the calcite portion of it, the little white pieces. And then the gray, the darker gray part, which is the base of the stone, that is the sphalerite. So the properties of the chalcopyrite, the reason I absolutely love this stone, the combination of those three is an absolutely amazing combination. This is a great healing stone. I will sometimes, if I know somebody is in need of extra healing, I will put this under my Reiki table so that the energy just goes right up into them and it just draws up as I'm doing the Reiki. It's used for a lot of different ailments, both emotional and physical. Works a lot with the lungs and the throat. Feelings of being disoriented or confused, low energy, it helps to boost the energy. It's also a powerful energy conductor. So when I am doing Reiki, it helps to draw that Reiki energy in and just amplifies what the recipient's receiving. So it's great for that. Helps in meditation, so it helps to keep them relaxed as they're receiving the Reiki. Also helps to remove negative blocks from the different chakras. So if they have any blockages, it will help me to remove that, and it works with all of them. But it does especially work with the crown. I think that's with the property that the calcite also brings in, is working with the crown area. So the sphalerite is more for the grounding, and when I'm doing any kind of healing work, it is important for both myself and the client to remain grounded. This will work a lot with the lower chakras. It does help with sexual energy, creativity, any athletic people that are working with any kind of training. It helps to boost the energy for that. The calcite part also amplifies energy. So any of the energy work that we're doing, any other crystals that I may be using, it will amplify that. So this is why it's just absolutely amazing to have this combination and to have that underneath the Reiki table when somebody's getting some work. The calcite also helps with reducing fear and stress, helps for intuition, so that helps with me when I'm doing the Reiki work to know where I need to go and what needs more work. Although the Reiki does that on its own, it still helps me intuitively to push it a little bit more where it needs to go. So just as a combo stone, that's one of my strongest healing amplifiers, intuitive amplifiers, and this one works on both ends. So there's quite a lot of energy going around when you've got all these stones together. So let's talk now a little bit about cleansing them, clearing them, and then I want to talk about the gridding a little bit. And we're getting a little short on time, so, and the gridding part is very important, so I do want to talk about that. So cleansing, really quickly. When you're working with the different crystals, always check to make sure whether it can be cleansed with water or whether it needs to be cleansed with intention, or you can also use incense or sage. Certain crystals you cannot get wet. Like I said, the selenite will disintegrate if you get it wet. So that you want to maybe put in salt or put in the moon. You don't want to put it in the sun because it will start to bleach the color. Amethyst, citrine, rose quartz, you don't want to put any of those in the sun because they will start to lose their color. The carnelian is another one that you would not want to put in the sun. If you just want to play it safe, use the moonlight for any of them. Any of them are pretty much safe to go in the moonlight or to put in salt. You want to get like a sea salt, something that hasn't got all the chemicals and stuff in it. Just put the salt in a bowl and put your crystals in that. If you keep them in a bag, keep a clear crystal in the bag, or if you keep them all in a bowl, keep a clear crystal, the clear quartz, keep those in there with them, because that'll help absorb any negativity and help to clear them as well. So water is good for some, like the clear quartz. You could do water, you could put it out in the rain, you could put it in a stream. The more you have it naturally done, the better for the crystals. So think about fresh running water. You can put them in the earth, you can bury them in the ground for a little while, and that will also, Mother Nature will, she'll just absorb the negativity out of them and clear them for you. Fire, you can wave them over a candle. Of course, you want to be careful with that. You don't want to get them too close to the flame, or of course you don't want to get your hands too close to the flame either. So that's kind of one you've got to be very careful with. My suggestion, go with the moonlight, go with the salt. They're pretty much safe for all of them, and there's not a whole lot of questioning or thought into it. Put them out in the moon during a full moon or a new moon, and that will help charge them, that will help cleanse them. Put them in salt, that'll clear out the negativity. So those are the safest. So, a few minutes that I would like to take on the gridding. Now, what you see here, I've done with the clear quartz. There's many, many different grids, many different ways. Even where I was saying earlier about putting the citrine in your back left corner, or the rose quartz in the back right corner, that's part of gridding. But one of the best, to me personally, best grids that you can use is this type of a grid. Now, I'm just using this stand as a representation of a chair or yourself. Say this was a chair, this is you, you're sitting in the chair. Numbers will vary depending on the type of thing that you're doing. I went with 13 to show you a demonstration. 13 is what I would also use around a full-size chair. 13 to go with the 13 full moons, the 13 moons of the year. Most years do have that, although some do have a little extra, but they usually call them 13 moons. So we're going to go with the 13 moons. So you would take the 13 crystals and you would sit a chair or anything that you want to grid. Now they're going to be further apart, of course, if you're using a chair, but we just didn't have the space here for me to show you the full thing. So they would be further apart. But you would evenly spread out the 13 crystals around the chair that you or your client or somebody's going to sit in. Clear quartz is the best one to do this with. You can mix it up, and you can mix some amethyst in there, or if there's something specific that you want to really bring the energy in for, you can mix a couple of those crystals in. I would still stick with the 13 total. So you would just take out some of the clear quartz and replace those with the other crystals that you would like to use. So it doesn't matter what the size is. These are a little on the larger size. You can use the smaller ones. But again, place a total of 13 around. And if you're going to be sitting facing this way, you wouldn't put these last two down. You would keep those aside, and you would keep this one aside, because you want to be able to walk into the circle and sit down. Once you're sitting in your chair, then you're going to close the circle. So put your 11 out. 4 points. Your crystal quartz, or there are other crystals that do have the points. This is another example of a point. But whether you're bringing the energy in or pushing the energy out is going to depend on what direction the point is going. Always remember that the point of the crystal pushes the energy. So whatever direction this is going is where it's going to be directing the energy. So by pushing it in, I would take the 3 points. If I'm trying to bring the energy into myself, I'm trying to energize myself, I'm trying to amplify my own energy, maybe I'm feeling a little low on energy, I would place the 11 crystals on the outside. I would take 3 points, and I would point the points in towards me, because it's going to draw the energy from the clear quartz through the point and into whatever's in the center. So you've got the 3. You're going to take your seat. You're going to close the circle with your last 2, and then you're going to take your last point and place that again pointing inwards. So now you have the 13 crystals going around the outside, and you have the 4 points all pointing in towards whatever's in the center. Maybe you've got a crystal that you want to charge. Maybe you have an item that you'd like to amplify and fill with energy for whatever reason. Maybe it's your wallet or something that you want to fill. That would go in the center. And just adjust the size of your circle, still using the 13 to whatever is needed for that. Now, maybe you want to do the opposite and you want to send energy out. Maybe there's something going on within you that you want to get that out. You've got some negativity going on within you. Maybe you're sick and you just want that bluck out of you. Again, you can mix in some appropriate crystals along with the clear. Keep it to the 13. Maybe I want to work with the throat. Maybe my throat's having an issue and I want to just take some of that stuff out. So I would get probably, if I'm trying to calm things down, I would use the blue lace agate. I would get a few of those, and I would replace some of the clear crystals with the blue lace agate. So again, the same thing. You're going to leave your 2 open up here. Now this is if you're trying to send something out. So take your 2 crystals out. Take this one out. Now we're going to direct the energy out. So now you want to be on the outside of the circle with your points, and you want the points facing away from you. So these would all go like so. Then you would close your circle and put your amplifying crystal out there. And now, whatever energy you're trying to work with, you're pushing it out. But again, they want to be on the outside of the circle if you're pushing it out, pointing outwards. If you want to draw it in, just turn the points around and put them on the inside of the circle. And again, you can do that with any item. I'm just using this as an example. To me, putting these around a chair for myself when I'm trying to amplify, just putting these all the way around the chair and bringing the energy into myself. This would be me sitting in the chair, and this would be the energy I would be bringing in. You have somebody who's really just using the rose quartz alone is not going to be enough because they're really down on themselves. So you would do this, and you would replace some of the clear quartz with the rose quartz and maybe some amethyst. You want to really boost up their self-esteem? Throw in some citrine. But clear quartz is the go-to. That's works for so many different things. Those are the ones I highly recommend. So if you're just starting out, you want some just real basic crystals to start with. Absolutely clear quartz. That would be your number one go-to. First crystal you should have would be your clear quartz. Any size, any shape. You can worry about the points later, but definitely get yourself some clear quartz. Amethyst would be another one I would highly suggest having. Hematite and kyanite, also great ones to have. So those would be the first ones I would absolutely recommend. And the rose quartz, you should also have that. Those are good ones to get started with. You're starting to work on your intuition, throw in some selenite. You should already have the amethyst. Apophyllite, if you're really wanting to work with that, remember that's a little bit stronger. Selenite's a little more gentle. But you want to work on your intuition, get your psychic abilities to really open up, get some apophyllite, some selenite, some amethyst, and mix that in with the clear quartz, which you should already have, and you're good to go. So those are your basic ones, and if you have any questions on any of these crystals, you want to touch base with me, just give me a call at the center. Again, that's 484-624-8095, or stop out, and if you've got some crystals you want me to take a look at, bring them in. If I can help you with them, I will. If not, I'll grab my books, and if I still can't figure it out, I can usually direct you to somebody that can. So again, any questions, stop out, and I'd be happy to help. And there's still some shows coming on after this one, so stay tuned, and we'll be back next week. But stay tuned for Mystic Talks from 6 to 7, Heaven Talks from 7 to 8:30, and Beyond the Veil from 8:30 to 9:30. So your metaphysical, spiritual, and holistic needs are pretty much all taken care of in one evening. So a lot of information to take in, a lot of great people to listen to, so just leave it tuned in. And thank you again for coming out for the show today. And I will see you guys next week. I'm not sure of the topic, but see what we can come up with. So we'll see you next week. You guys have a great night. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Summer is here. So we'll see you next week.